Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with Golden Opportunities Coaching and the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. If you have not been here before, there are daily videos, or audios actually, for you to peruse on a variety of topics. If you have a subject you'd like to see us cover, comment below. Today we're going to deal with something that is very important, and that is time management, or the value of time. You know, the most important thing that you've got to realize is that each and every one of us has the same amount of time in a day, in a week, in a month that everyone else does. And it's what you do with it that makes history or makes excuses. You know, so often we have 86,400 seconds in a day. Each and every one of us has the same number. But it's what we do with that time. It's how we quantify that time. It's what we do to make that time matter that really, truly counts. You know, we can spend time doing things that are important or that we think are important, or we can spend a lot of time thinking about the things that need to change and taking a little less action and coming up with reasons and rationalizations for why we haven't done it yet. Tomorrow I'm going to lose weight. Tomorrow I'm going to make more time for my friends. Tomorrow I'm going to make more time for my significant other. Tomorrow I'm going to apply for that new job. But here's the thing. No tomorrow is promised. No moment outside of this one right here, right now, the one that you are listening to this recording, or the one that you're listening to this recording back, is promised. And so what you do with this moment, and the next, and the next, and the next, matters more than anything you've ever done before, because only in the now can history be made. History can't be made in the future because there's no guarantee that we're going to get there. Especially with all the challenges that exist in today's world, anything can happen to anyone at any given moment. Now, that's not a reason to live in fear. We should all live with the belief that the best is going to happen for us, and it's all coming together in that moment now, and the now is where it's most powerful. But the reality of the situation is, if you are living with the tomorrow, next week, next month, next year mentality, you may very well miss your opportunity. And while you're missing your opportunity for what it is that you want to accomplish, someone else is taking it by the horns and taking it over. Someone else is starting the business that you thought you should start. Someone else is bringing about the possibilities of doing things to another level. Someone else is ready to talk to that ideal partner that you think is for you. Someone else is ready to do what you could do, would do, should do. You know, time is one of those really elusive things. Even those of us who live for 1,000 years, or 1,000 days, rather. If we lived 1,000 years, we'd really be pretty funny. But even those of us who live for 1,000 days or 100 years have a limited, finite amount of time when we look at the thousands or millions of years in history. And what is that really? It's just a quantifier. Time is one of those things that you can use in numerous, unlimited, unmitigated, unbridled ways, but what we do with it and how we utilize it matters most. Right now, today is the day that you can make a change in your life, no matter how small, no matter how it seems that it's insignificant. And it's the small changes that you make every day that create habits for positive change. If you need to spend more time talking to people, if you need to spend more time journaling to figure out why you're stuck, if you need to talk to new people to give yourself a new perspective, if you need to send out the resume to get that next job, or to open your company, or you need to put together a business plan for your organization, or you need to pen that song or write that book, now is the time to do it. You know, we can talk ourselves into and out of every bit of progress we're ever going to make based on the simple phrases. Oh, I'll do it later. Oh, it's not the right time. Oh, it's not the perfect time yet. Well, here's the thing. The perfect time is always right now, this moment, because the perfect time for you to react and respond to whatever's in front of you in a new, ingenious, and expansive way is always right now. Now, you may give yourself reason to say, well, what if I find rejection, or what if I catch a person at the wrong time? I remember for so many years when I was in research we used to have to make cold calls, and I used to worry about the wrong time to call somebody. And did I call you at the wrong time? Almost should have been tattooed on my forehead before I went into coaching. I was in that world. And one day I had a person that said to me, on the other end of the phone, no, you didn't catch me at a bad time. You didn't catch me at the wrong time. But what if you did? We could reschedule it for later. And it's at that moment that I realized, and sales became so much easier for me. Those calls became so much easier for me because there's never a wrong time to pivot. There's never a wrong time to adjust, to adapt to whatever's in front of you. And so every shot that you don't take is a shot you can never miss and you can never make. You know, most often the competition for, well, other people did it this way, other people did it that way. It wasn't my time. I'm not going to get in front of the right people. I'm not going to be able to say the right thing. What is that? It's the defeat that tomorrow you're going to feel differently. It's an illusion around which you're going to feel differently, because tomorrow will come and you'll wake up and you'll come up with other reasons to protect yourself. The reactive habitual brain does that. That's what it's designed to do. The brain is designed to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable, to keep you away from any risk that isn't necessary, to only push you forward when it's absolutely necessary. But here's the thing. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish, whatever it is that is burning a hole inside of your being, inside of your soul, needs you to show up today, needs you to show up right now. And so even if it's as simple as making a list of the things that you're going to do and a step-by-step plan for how to do it, even if it's hiring a coach or finding a mentor or listening to audio tracks or watching videos like this one, even if it is something mindful of keeping you going forward, it is essential for you to begin to find the realities of making that change and making it now and now and now. Tomorrow there are unforeseen circumstances with the weather. There are unforeseen circumstances with health. There are unforeseen circumstances with any number of things, and they can affect you or I or anyone listening to this. Matter of fact, every one of the 7.5 billion people on the planet can be affected. And most of those people, should something bad happen tomorrow, they will say the same thing because it's been said throughout the ages. I wish I'd done differently things yesterday, last month, last year. I wish I had used my time better. And there's never going to be a time in your life where you don't think that there are things you could have done better, but the act of doing and the act of becoming, the most important thing I do as a coach is I say to people, what do you want to become and what are you becoming today? Because you become what you focus upon. You become the meaning that you've given to your life in your habitual mind, and you become the actions you take. So if you want change, you have to go take it. And taking change means taking risks some days. Taking change and making change means being willing to be wrong once in a while. Come up with a new idea, adjust and assert your plan in a new way. Take every second. Sometimes it means skipping a meal because you're working and you forgot to eat. Sometimes it means skipping some sleep because rather than sleep, you're one step away from that breakthrough. Sometimes it means just putting things down on paper, figuring it out later, but knowing that you're making progress. Because the love affair with progress, that affair that can never end, has to become at the helm of every second, of every hour, of every day, if you're going to become the greatness that you were destined to be. And guess what? Greatness isn't reserved for the lucky. Greatness isn't reserved for the privileged. It is reserved for those who work smart and who work towards their goals each and every moment through the actions they take, but also their thought life. If you are looking for that next moment when you feel like doing it, that moment may never come. But if you're looking at those moments and saying, you know what, even though I don't feel like it, I'm going to do it anyway because I know if I do whatever it is, if I spend more time, if I study more, if I read more, if I listen to more podcasts, if I just go out and talk to more people, if I send that extra LinkedIn invite, if I do all of those things, something is bound to happen. You know, every action that you take in the universe will have a reactive force somewhere. Now, it may take a while for that boomerang to come into motion, but if you're setting the groundwork, if you're setting the playwork for the things that you want to see for tomorrow, today, then you can begin to see results. Maybe not instantly, but maybe you can, because you don't know if a single conversation, you don't know if a single invite or a single just text message or email can be the one that makes the difference, that causes people to say, yes, he really wants change. Yes, she really wants to be something different in her career. Or yes, he really wants to step up and be a member of this relationship, this family, or whatever the challenge is. This moment is the moment with unlimited potential, but this moment is the moment you waste. Every moment you don't take that potential and lead it. Do that for your children. Do that for your family. If you don't necessarily have it in you to do it for yourself, look at the potential you see in others and go, wait a minute, if I were them, if I was in their shoes, what would I want them to do? If this was for my child, if this was for my spouse, if this was for my mother, my father, my best friend, what then would I be doing differently than I'm doing right now? Because here's the thing, sometimes the people we care about most can be our biggest inspiration simply because we view them differently than we view ourselves. Every time you take a breath of air, it's a moment. Split in time, it is a singular experience that will never repeat itself again. Yes, there'll be others like it, we hope, but it will never occur in that way, in that alignment ever again. And so what you do with the now, what you do with this moment is the most powerful thing that you can decide to do in any given second of every day. Now, I know there's going to be people out there that say, but I'm physically sick, but I don't have the money, but I don't have the connections, but I don't have the ability. No. But what you have is something you're underutilizing. What you have is a built-in, multifaceted, multi-connected computer known as the human brain that when you decide, actively decide you're going to make a difference, actively decide you're going to physically do something with this moment, it can give you input of, well, I could do this. Might not be perfect, but I could do that. It might not work, but I could try this. It might not work, but I could ask about that. And then, as you begin to link in the motion of progress, as you begin to see yourself as someone who is a can-do, constant motion person, then and only then will other ideas of inspiration come to you. And then when they come, you go, wait a second. I'm not as stuck as I was before. I'm not as angry as I was before. I'm not as trapped in the story I've been telling myself for weeks, months, or even years, sometimes decades, really sadly, as I was before. And it all starts with making an active decision to use your time wisely and with care. Even though we are all given the same number of seconds in a day, that doesn't mean that we'll have the same number of days, the same number of months, the same number of weeks. And if you're closing on what could be the final day of your life, do you want to say, I made the difference I could make? Or, gee, I wish I had done this or that? Do you want to say, I lived fully, or I lived with things unfinished? You know, Les Brown, who's one of the foremost motivational speakers, paraphrases another great speaker often, and he says the one place that the most congregation of unfulfilled dreams ever can be located is the graveyard. Don't let your vision, don't let your spark, don't let what the essence of the difference that you came into the world to make be lost because you wasted another second on something that doesn't matter. Remember, you determine what matters. You determine its meaning, and you determine the focus you have and the actions you take as a result of it. So I will remind you once again, this is Scott Golden with Golden Opportunities Coaching. I encourage you, check out the channel. The information about how to contact us is here. Make this moment count today, right now. You do it, and I know it'll pay off. You can do it, and I know that because you were born for greatness. Now go live it.